coming to you direct from sunny Florida with some more pro tips on Frontier's GoWild Pass. Stay tuned for Volume 4. Before we get too warmed up, some Frontier basics. Now, I don't know if you were like me. If you were, you got your first vehicle when you were in high school. It wasn't the fanciest thing. Hell, you were lucky if it had air conditioning. It was what we like to call a point A to point B car. That's what Frontier Airlines is. A point A to point B airline. It's not the fanciest airline by any stretch of the imagination. It's clean. They run modern airplanes. They're Airbuses, which is some of the safest and most reliable fleet in the world, so you don't have to worry about panels falling off mid-flight and computers going haywire causing crashes. Airbuses aren't all about that. I'm just going to let you guys figure out what I'm talking about there. So they do have the safest fleet and the greenest fleet in the industry, so you don't have to worry about that. The seats are hard. Bring a cushion. They sell little cushions on Amazon. Buy one. You get water. You have to pay for coffee. It's all you can drink coffee if you're a coffee fiend. You have to pay for tea. That's all you can drink. Your soft drinks, your beers, all that kind of stuff you're buying. There's no free peanuts. None of that kind of stuff. Dollar Tree, that's your savior. Go to Dollar Tree. Don't buy drinks on that plane. Bring a water. A little water bottle from home. Fill it up. I wouldn't buy cocktails because one cocktail on the plane almost costs what an entire GoWild ticket cost in most cases. Not worth it. Not a good value. Now, if that's your cup of tea, you're saving a lot on the airfare. Go for it. But to me, it kind of hurts when I'm paying more for parking than I am for my airfare 99.5% of the time. But I applaud the GoWild plan. If you just started with the GoWild program and you just bought your pass, you made probably the best traveling decision in the United States. You just simply have to master the system, learn the ins and the outs, learn that this is really designed for solo travelers, people that can travel very spontaneously, small business owners that would rather get in front of their client and shake hands rather than do a Zoom meeting and not have to spend thousands of dollars in transit to do so. This is an opportunity. It's a great way to make connections and not break the bank. The biggest tip I can tell you right out of the gate is learn the routes that are within the radius of your home. If you're fortunate enough to live in a large market like Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston, that sort of thing, you're going to have many more opportunities to get into the Frontier network as opposed to whether you live in Harrisburg, PA, or Hagerstown, Maryland, or something like that, where you've got to do some maneuvering. Not as many opportunities. But in either case, Learn what is around your area. For instance, I live in Central Florida. So I have Tampa, Orlando, Sarasota, Bradenton, and Fort Myers, Southwest Florida Airport, all within maybe an hour and a half to 2 hour drive. So when it comes down to the options that are given to you once you select an itinerary or are trying to shop for an itinerary from the GoWild plan, sometimes there's connections with layovers. Sometimes simply changing your airport gets rid of the layover. For instance, flying from Tampa to Las Vegas, it's a seasonal nonstop flight. Currently in the fall, you have to connect one of a gazillion different ways. If you hop in the car and you drive to Orlando 4 out of 7 days a week, they have a nonstop flight to Las Vegas from Orlando. So it's much better to ride in the car at 2 hours than to sit in the Cleveland airport for 5.5 hours waiting for a connection. I'd much rather just go to Orlando, turn on the radio, listen to some good music, have a cup of coffee. Before I know it, I blink my eyes, I'm parking in Mickey International and everything's good. So I'd recommend learning the lay of the land, learn your regional airports. You can go into the Frontier app, pick your airport, and then pretend you're buying an itinerary. And then the destination, just go down the map. It's going to show you all of the flights that are available at all the cities that connect directly from where you're at. So that'll give you a good idea where to start with as far as fun little weekend trips to travel. And those are going to be probably the most popular options when you do try to get a GoWild flight your first time around. If you're trying to connect long haul or cross country, realize there's sort of a hub system to Frontier. It's not in the same spirit of the old spoken hub system of the 80s and early 90s for airlines, but they still use a hub. And their main hub cities are Denver, Philadelphia, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Orlando. They typically have the most connections to the cities. For instance, you can get to Harrisburg, PA out of Orlando, and you can't get to Harrisburg, PA on Frontier out of any other city. So you can find those little niche cities. Denver is going to allow you to connect to many international flights that are offered through Frontier as well. And the nice thing is if you do get stuck on an itinerary that connects with Denver on a daytime extended layover, you'll be able to take a light rail, go downtown, go sightsee, have a piece of pizza, hang out, kill a little bit of time, and still have enough time to get back to the airport and go through security again and not have sat in the airport and wasted time. There's some airports where you can do that, some that you can't, but Denver is a good one. And since that's one of Frontier's main hubs, that's oftentimes what I find myself doing if I have to connect through there. There is a few spots where you can sleep in the upper levels of Denver, but I'll let you do some Googling on that. I've had to do it a few times, but I don't recommend it. I'd much rather play with the system, and now I've gotten a little smarter with the system where you generally avoided Denver at all costs, overnight that is. So the best option is to make sure that you really, really take the opportunity to learn the system as I'm mentioning. Now, sometimes you're going to get presented an itinerary from the system that is the only option it's going to give you is maybe 2 or 3 options for GoWild, and every single one of them has an overnight stay. For instance, I was just trying to fly home from Las Vegas. I already had a nonstop flight there that was fine. I was coming home, and I wasn't sure exactly when I was coming home, so I didn't take advantage of the newer option that's on GoWild, which allows you to book round trip in one spot. I didn't do that. I booked them separately. So on the ride home, I kept checking within probably 8 or 9 days of my departure date, kept checking, and it was just giving me offer opportunities and stuff with 16-hour stay, overnight stay in Cleveland, overnight stay in Denver, 10-hour layover in Philadelphia, stuff that was just going to not allow me to get home in time to transition my pet from someone else's care to mine. So I ended up going ahead and pulling in the route map up, realizing that there's many flights from Las Vegas to California every day, and quite a few California flights to Orlando nonstop each day, knowing the itineraries that go back and forth from Orlando because I had studied it. So luckily, rather than giving me the option of the combined connections that Frontier did, I was easily able to log into the system, find a flight from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, nice and early in the morning, 2 hour layover, and I was nonstop back to Orlando in plenty of time, with the objective to get to my pet in perfect time. And it would have been another overnight stay had I taken the Frontier itinerary. So I saved about 16 hours. The flight cost me maybe $10 more because I booked 2 separate GoWild flights, but it allowed me to accomplish the same thing. So Long story short, don't necessarily take the option that GoWild is giving you. Break the flight up into segments. See if you can get to one of those connecting cities. Sometimes you can get from my area to Atlanta. For instance, oftentimes I find myself checking my area to Atlanta, and so many cities connect to Atlanta to see if I can get where I need to go without an overnight stay. So you have to get creative. It's connected dots. But when you're paying $16 to $20 flights, it's imperative, if you want to get your money out of your money's worth out of this program, learn the system. Thanks guys for tuning in. If I can answer any questions for you, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Also, for more details, be sure to consult flyfrontier.com. Of course, you'll be able to check their route maps and that sort of thing for the most up-to-date information. Most importantly, be sure to stay tuned for volume number 5, which will talk about Frontier's international routes. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Be sure to hit the like button, of course, and hit the bell button when you subscribe so you'll know exactly when the new video is going to drop. Thanks for tuning in, guys.